Hey folks, it's Owen here again with another battle report. So we are now on to game 2 of Troll Slayer of a 5-game tournament. So off we go. This game sees me paired up with Fergus Finch, who was using High Elves. So it's a High Elf off. So we roll. Well, I didn't roll up again. It was the TO that rolled up, meeting engagement. So we set it up and off we went. This is the first time I've actually bothered to actually take a picture of my spells, so I'll go through them anyway. Arcane of Fortune is a pretty good spell, especially with the stuff that he's likely to have on his wizard, which is a Book of Oath, which I wouldn't mind getting rid of. Walk Between Worlds is yet another handy augment spell, low casting, which means I can get a +1 onto my ward save. Same goes for Hand of Glory, which I think is probably one of the best spells they have, apart from Fiery Convocation. And I think I got Apotheosis, and I decided to take a Drain Magic because Fergus is actually using Beast Magic, and with the augments and things like that they have, it'd be nice to be able to get rid of those things when it's my turn and roll a few dice. So there we go. So here we have the High Elf Reserves, or my High Elf Reserves as I should say, and I rolled a 1 for my Archmage and 18 Archers. Haven't played Batonians there a couple of weeks ago. I was actually used to not having my Archmage on the board, so I wasn't too worried this time, which is good. So it's not too bad, it's only 2 units. And moving on to the other High Elves deployment, or reserves, and should I say, instead of High Elves, we're going to call them Confused High Elves, because obviously there's something wrong with them if they're fighting their brothers in arms. So Fergus rolls a 1 for only his BSB, who's kitted out with a Dragon Armour, Reaver Bow, Shield of the Murmur, and the Golden Crown, which is good. And it's actually a really good little loadout for a noble BSB, and I'll probably steal it at some stage. So we'll move on. So on to my deployment, and I have Bolthor there on the left hand side. Reaver's just ahead of them, doing a bit of vanguard and hopefully. 2 Eagles pushed up the front there, and behind all that I have my Phoenix Guard, the Razor Banner Phoenix Guard, and just the Prince in there because the other guy is left off. The 11 Sisters I left just a bit further back, so I will maybe deploy them a bit further forward later on with Walk Between Worlds or something like that. I just didn't want to put him too close to his archers because he has a couple of units, and I know, strength 3 against those guys, he can still take out quite a lot, and they're not worth just leaving out there getting a hiding, to be honest. And then we have Spearmen over there on the right, but I think they're taken over in the next slide. And yes, they are. So 28 Spearmen with full command. I put my Noble BSB in there again. He has the same loadout as before: Shield, Reaver Bow, and Kane's Ring of Fury. Beside them is the 5 more Reavers, and then a Bolthor sitting on the hill ready to get rid of a few more of his guys. And the Confused High Elves then deployment. So he's got himself a Bolthor just very on the left hand side. He's pushed up very far actually, with 5 Reavers then just beside. 2 Eagles actually behind the houses there, and he has got 2 Tyrannok Chariots as well ready to pounce on my units. So looks like he's going for a quick breakthrough and try to get into me really quickly. Then we have a Lion Chariot sitting beside those guys as well, so 3 chariots, which means he's going to be really trying to pump the 3 of them into one unit, get a lot of impact hits. Then he's got 15 archers with full command, and his main archmage is there, who's got Book of Oath and the Talisman of Preservation, and he's on lower beasts, so he's going to be looking to buff his guys. Then he has his main combat unit, pretty much, is the 8 Dragon Princes, which I quite like the idea of. Good unit. Banner Swiftness, so they're really fast. They're going to be trying to get into me as soon as they can. And then he's a Bolthor behind them. 28 Spearmen on the right hand side with a Standard Discipline, which he is probably going to be waiting to put a BSB into. And then there's 15 Archers over there on the right hand side, and there's an arrow there for a Mage level 2 who actually isn't in his unit because Fergus left him over on the left hand side. Just as we started the first turn, he realised he forgot to place him down, so I let him pop him into the unit. He's got the Ring of Fury and the Spell Scroll. So Fergus rolls highest for Vanguard, so off he goes first. So he moves his Reavers straight up there, nice and far forward, to threaten my Bolthor. And then I move my guys all the way over to the right hand side, because that's where most of his units are that I might want to hold up. I think the Bolthor should be okay on his own, and if not, then I'll probably try and maybe bring up my unit of archers on to help him out. And on the Reavers on the very right, then I push them over to the right hand side. So we're going to try and take a few shots and at that archer unit over there with the level 2 wizard who can be hopefully taken out pretty quickly. But we'll see how we go. So high elf turn 1. Proper high elf turn 1 that is. And the 2 units of Reavers fly straight over on the right hand side. So I just wanted to get some shots into that unit. I have a bolt thrower and those 2 units put in there, so I should get at least one rank on, maybe cause a panic test. And there's no BSB on the table right now, so any panic tests I can do would be great, because you'd be at leadership 8, 9 perhaps, probably 9, yeah. So it'd be good. And then the other movement, which you can see, is fuck all, because I did not want to go anywhere. Which I thought was fair enough. The only thing I did was I brought my mage on and popped him into my Phoenix Guard. But then I thought I was very sly here. Because Fergus had pushed up so far and I was allowed to come on any part of my table edge, I popped the archers in here. Which means, one, the count is moving, so I only normal move as well, so I'll still get to have a shot at the eagle, and I get to charge into the bolt thrower on the next turn, so that's not too bad. So after all my measuring at the start for making sure I was in the right space and all that sort of stuff, I made sure I was in 24 and got Arcane and Forging off. Unfortunately, I got it off with a double 6. So I went through. He'd no armor, so obviously we don't make any wounds. But randomized for if it was going to be Book of Oath or if it was Talisman of Preservation, and I would have preferred the Book of Oath to be getting rid of. So his Talisman of Preservation is gone. So any miscast or any hits on him, obviously he's no save whatsoever. But that Book of Oath is still there, and that's always going to be a problem. For the miscast, I rolled. I forget. I actually can't remember at all what I rolled for the miscast. It wasn't a double 6, that's for her. It could have been, it just affected me. I think it maybe was all magic users suffer a strength 6 hit and then they get a ward save. But because I cast a spell, I had a 3+ and it was fine. Something like that, but it didn't matter anyway. So onto my shooting, and as I hoped, the bolt thrower did a super job and got rid of 4 of these guys. But brave as they are, these elves never panic, so he is still there. The archers then do a nice job as what I wanted, and they got rid of the eagle. And then the combination of the 2 units of Reavers and the bolt thrower do another great job over here to get rid of a rank and a bit of elves. Again, he passed his panic test, which I was hoping he was going to fail, because if he did, they're gone. But all done, thanks very much. So Confused High Elves turn 1, and Fergus just moves everything forward pretty much. BSB comes on there and joins the large Spearman unit. Dragon Princes move up, as do the archers on the right hand side there as well. And a big move from the 3 chariots, and I think the other archer unit moved a small bit as well, just so he can get in range for a couple of spells. That's pretty much it though. So onto the magic phase, and Fergus gets off Wizen's wild form on the smaller unit with the mage in it. Either that he was afraid that I was going to charge it with a couple of units, which maybe I should have done actually, or more than likely keep shooting at it, so they'd be toughness 4. So I said, well, I'll let it off. I'll still kill a couple of elves, so fuck it, doesn't really matter. But one well-placed bolt from his bolt thrower gets rid of my bolt thrower. Nice shooting from Fergus. And more shooting goes on here, and the high elves, well, the evil high elves, get a bit more retribution here by killing a couple of my guys. So my turn too, and first thing I do is charge my guys into his bolt thrower. Keep that out of the game for a while, and I should be able to get rid of it. Then the rest of my units just move forward slightly. I was quite concerned with the 3 chariots coming down, but then again I shouldn't have been too worried, because it is a unit of Phoenix Guard. No matter how many hits they get on me, I'm probably going to save quite a bit of it, as I'll have a 3+ ward save in the majority of the time. Then I just brought forward the Sisters of Avalon, because they can pretty much turn either way and shoot wherever they want. Their high ballistic skill is very handy as well. And then I just moved the other unit of Spearmen just straight up a bit. Here is probably where I made a mistake, and I flew my 2 eagles across over here in a very attacking manner. I probably should have left them where they were and waited until his dragon princes were coming up closer, so I could have blocked them off. So yeah, so as far as I can see, that was a big mistake at the start. I shouldn't have moved them anywhere, because what you'll see is that they do absolutely nothing. Spoiler alert, they do nothing. But yeah, so I moved them wrong completely. So on to the magic phase, and I get off Hand of Glory to give myself an extra bit of ward, and to give these guys an extra bit of BS, just so that it will take away the fact that they've moved. So no matter where they shoot, they'll be doing pretty well. So straight on to close combat. My shooting phase wasn't too successful, unfortunately. So on to close combat, and the evil high elves seem to have done a good job here, because they've killed one of my guys. The only reason we won is because we charged and we have a rank. So, well, actually we have 2 ranks, but Fergus holds anyway, so good stuff out of him. And that was pretty much it for my turn. So Confused High Elves turn 2, and the first thing Fergus does is declares a charge with everybody on the Phoenix Guard. Well, obviously I hold, but unluckily for him, only 1 chariot makes it in, and it's the Lion Chariot, which means that I'm going to get to strike it first, and it's probably going to be fucked. So unlucky there from Fergus, especially failing 2 of those charges, which weren't that far. But good news for me. So other high elf movement sees the dragon princes moving up slightly, and the spearman unit doing a nice about face swift reform, and looking at my eagle about to take it out. Same thing goes on over here with the archers. They do a swift reform, and my eagles look like they are about to become toast. Onto the shooting phase, and Fergus does a nice job with his shots. Takes out 4 guys, and my other guy runs away, just about holding on to the edge of the board. So, not good for me. And the eagle gets himself hiding off the archers, who swiftly turned around to shoot his face off. And the reaver bow, it was either the reaver bow or it was the bow thrower. One or the other takes the other away and knocks him out of the air. But at least I get a bit of good luck over here. So the Lion Chariot comes in, causes 1 impact hit, wounds, and I have my 3+ save, so good stuff out of me. And the Phoenix Guard chop it up and make lion burgers out of it. So we're laughing, nice one. And combat over here, we finally kill one of the crew, but again he kills one of my guys. So we win by 1. Yeah, we've 1 rank here left over. He holds again, so another round of combat. And I was hoping to get rid of this thing fairly quick, but bollocks to that. So high off turn 3, and nothing else moves here really, apart from the sisters, who I bring up to the left hand side so they can shoot a couple of those chariots. For some reason those chariots really had me worried. After what I seen with the Lion Chariot, I shouldn't have given a fuck about them at all, and I should have left them where they were and taken loads of shots at those knights, because they're worth a lot more points than a couple of fucking chariots. But another mistake I've made, and another one hopefully that I'm going to learn from. Just a bit of movement here to move the reavers over here, take out a couple of more of these guys. And kaboom! Magic phase was a bit of a bust, nothing much really went on. So onto the shooting phase, and the sisters do a great job, and they get rid of this chariot. So there's only 1 left, and it's not something I should be worried about now. And another great bit of news is we finally managed to kill that fucking ball thrower. Lost another guy, but ball thrower is gone. Good stuff. So Confused High Elves turn 3, and here is where I make another fuck up. Fergus charges with his Dragon Princes, elects to charge the side of the Sister Avalorn. Now I had thought this might have happened, so I said, that's fine, I don't really care. Then when it happened, I kind of fucking bugged out and went, oh shit, what am I going to do? Flee. So I fled through the Phoenix Guard on the other side. Fine, he redirects into the Spearman. I'm going to have to hold. Fuck it, I can't be running away as well. Maybe I should have, but sure, what can you do? So they stay where they are. Dragon Princes are in. Second charge, which I didn't cop, is Chariot. goes to charge the Sister Avalorn, which means they have to flee again, and they flee off the board. Not good. So I'm fucked. He does try to redirect, but he fails his leadership, so he just moves up a slight bit. But that doesn't make it any bleeding better for me. My sisters are gone, and my spearmen are in combat with a nasty, nasty unit. The only good thing is I've got a lot of attacks on them, and I have a hell of a lot of steadfast, so I'll hold for a good while, but still, big mistake. Other movement then from Fergus sees him moving up his general's unit a little bit there on the left hand side, and the unit of spearmen fly up there, getting ready to attack somebody. Magic phase now, and Fergus gets Curse of Rear off because there was a couple of spells he would have gotten off, and I said I'd let that go off first. -1 to hit for me with his guys. I figure, look, I've got enough hits anyway. I've got 4 ranks hitting them because I've got spears, so I can take the hit. I'll just leave it at that, and I managed to stop everything else that went through, like Wizards and stuff. So I think I was better off. Unfortunately, Fergus's bolt thrower does another great job and takes a fucking flying shot at my bolt thrower and destroys that as well. Unbelievable shoot. On to combat then, and unfortunately, my BSB gets chopped up because I'm not as survivable as everyone else's BSB because I fucking didn't give him the Shield of Earworm, which I will never forget again. But anyway, my BSB is dead, and he also attacks my hero, and he dies too. We get nothing back on, but we hold because we're steadfast. So off we go. So high off turn 4, and we declare charge on the chariot, who promptly fucking flees. And what can we do? Nothing. So we go with 2 centimeters. Disaster. Fergus is doing a nice job here of keeping my biggest unit out of the game, and this was another massive mistake. The Phoenix Guard are going to do nothing. Spoiler alert, and I am an idiot. So anyway, carry on. Over on the left hand side, finally the archers get to do something, so we swift reform and wander up. At least we can get some shots off in this chariot. Spell time, so I get Hand of Glory off, just to give me a bit more weapon skill, so at least I'm going to be well, actually, I wanted to be hitting them on 3s, and then -1 to hit would have been 4s, but I didn't get it off enough because Spearmen only have weapon skill 4. So it's weapon skill 5 versus 5, so we're still hitting on 5s. But give it a go, and my ward save is better, so I suppose I got something out of it. Then I also got a Walk Between Worlds off, which meant that I could move up and hopefully get in range of his general's unit. What I should really have done here was wheel all the way around, use as much of my movement as I could so I could get over towards those dragon princes and kill them, because they are loads of points and I need loads of points. But again, mistake was made. So on to combat, and we actually didn't do too badly here. Well, actually Fergus did fucking awful. He only killed 2 guys, but we didn't kill anybody, so we're still steadfast. So whatever, combat's combat. And I actually forgot this combat completely happened because I had no picture. So the Reavers had charged into the archers, the remainder of the unit, not much left now. So I lose 1 guy, and I managed to get 1 wound on the wizard. 1 wound. He's 1 more wound left, so I'm hopefully we'll be able to get rid of him. But confused High Elves turn 4 means that we are in some serious trouble because he's able to charge into the corner of my unit with an entire unit of spearmen. I know they're only spearmen, but I mean he's got some serious ranks here, so we're going to be running. We have to get the last wound off this guy. There was not much movement otherwise from that, so he gets himself off a wild form on his Dragon Princess, which is going to be nasty for my guys, but I mean there's loads of them and I don't really give a fuck, so it doesn't matter that much. What does matter though is that he got a miscast, and the result of that miscast is actually quite good for me, because each wizard model in his unit, or sorry, his army, takes a strength 6 hit. So his main guy takes a hit, he has no ward save, so he takes a wound. But his other mage took a wound and he died. So we are laughing. I don't care what happens to the Reavers now. And this is what happens to the Reavers. One dies. Actually quite tough. But he's going to be on Snake Eyes and he's going to be in trouble. And he was, because I don't know where he is. But anyway, moving on to the main combat. So Fergus, with his Wild Foreman Dragon Princes, only kills 3 guys. We actually managed to get a wound past one. Nice one, good stuff out of the Spearman. So we got loads of ranks. He has now lost his rank anyway, so that's good stuff for us. And that's actually quite good. So on to my turn 4, and I didn't bother doing any movement or anything like that. And I just remembered that this guy actually had to roll a 2 or a 3, and he did, and he held. So he held everybody up for a turn, but yep, he's dead now. He managed to kill another archer though. But the problem is we won't be getting any points for that unit, so that's a damn shame. And on to the main combat over here, which is another fucking disaster for me. 3 more guys gone, for none in return. We're steadfast, we hold. We're very lucky that we keep holding all these steadfast 8 rolls, we really are. So Confused High Elves turn 5, and this is where Fergus actually finally slips up and makes a mistake. He, for some reason, charged his Lone Reaver into the side of the archers. Why he wouldn't just move him away and save those, whatever, 100 points is beyond me, really, but I think he was just having a bit of fun because he was just running around killing me all the time, so he decided to rampage in there. I've a good feeling, though, at least maybe in this turn, if not the next turn, I might be able to kill him. So the rest of the Confused High Elves turns. In the meantime, my unit has been wandering around over there like a pack of idiots. Well, led by me, Captain Idiot, wasting my Phoenix Guard, and all the crack is on here on the right hand side. So he moves his Eagle in front. His main mage's unit just wanders up again, and as to do the Spearmen, and they just move out of my way. So not so hot. Magic time, and he gets Curse of Enrir off again, which is not much use to me, but it's loads of use to him. Something does go my way though, and my archers kill that final Reaver, so there's 100 points in the bag. Yo! And then on to the main combat again. Fergus's rolling with these Dragon Princes has been fucking horrible. He has only killed 1 guy here, and I suppose mine's just as bad because I killed nothing. But he does have a 2+ ward save, so give me a break. So there you go, combat done. And that's where time was called, and that was the end of the game. And to be honest with you, I started off well, as I thought it was well. I came on with my archers in a nice place, they outmaneuvered them a little bit. But after that, I just ended up going on some sort of ridiculous autopilot, running my Phoenix Guard around a part of the board where there was no one at all. I wasted them completely. And you know what? I deserve what I got, which was an 11-9 loss. And it actually wasn't too bad. I thought I would have lost by more, but Fergus just couldn't do anything against those those spearmen who were unreal, holding up for that. I'm disappointed, mainly because I fucked up again, and hopefully I'm going to start learning from these in the games, rather than panicking and just going with the flow. But saying that, it was an enjoyable game. It was fun seeing what he was doing. It was fun watching my Phoenix Guard run around like Benny Hill running after some sort of a pack of ladies because we just couldn't catch anybody. And it was a good game as well because, well, I enjoyed myself. I suppose that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? A 9-11 loss isn't the worst thing in the world. I still have 19 points. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the rest of this tournament. But yeah, it's a good game. So, there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And let's roll on to game 3 soon.